Hello, welcome to the West Ham Massive. I haven't pressed the titles, so it is what it is. I'm just going to go live and we'll just crack on with it. So we're here for the preview of the Newcastle United game. If you're new around here, please do drop a like on the stream. It does help out tremendously. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't done so before now. So I'm going to add this to the presentation. And keep an eye on the ticker at the bottom. It will change intermittently with things like that for little pieces of information for you guys to get stuck into. Please do get stuck into the comments and we'll have a little peruse of that as we go along. Just going to hit play on that. So, look, we're going to Newcastle tomorrow. I mean, assuming that the game obviously gets underway. I mean, there's a lot of talk about weather possibly playing its part and getting in the way. But if the game goes ahead, what are you expecting? What are you thinking? I mean, it's been obviously an international break that we've had. We went into it off the back of a 0-0 draw at home to a pretty bang average Everton team, to be fair. I think most people, myself included, were expecting maybe the wrong word, hoping more than anything, probably given the way we played this season. Expecting is probably a little bit of a stretch, but certainly was hoping for a positive result and a positive performance. We got neither. So we obviously went into the international break. There was obviously a lot of talk about, is the manager going to survive? Is the trigger going to be pulled on him? And we've obviously got to the other side of the international break and he's still here, rightly or wrongly. And I had a funny feeling we probably wouldn't going to pull the trigger on him. I still don't think we're going to pull the trigger on him, and probably until the Arsenal game, to be truthful, because I sort of I'd look at it and I think, well, if we pulled the trigger on him now, whoever comes in would have an away game to Newcastle and a home game against Arsenal, two pretty tough fixtures, I think it's fair to say. And it'd be like whoever comes in would probably be off to two consecutive defeats in all likelihood. Who knows? You never know, but probably easy to just pull the trigger on him after the Arsenal game's out the way. We'll wait and see what happens. But obviously this little presentation that you can see just to the side of me will give you little nuggets of information. There's the head-to-head. They have a historical advantage over us in the 52 Premier League fixtures that we've played. And obviously the last time we played there, as you see, on the 30th of March earlier this year, they won, by the odd goal in 7, barnstorming sort of match. But at the end of the day, we came away with nothing. But let me just have a look at some of your comments and see who is in. Brendan, hope you are well. Yeah, I'm not expecting to see much, mate. I'm really not. Michael, hope you are well. Mr. Walsh, hope you're good. Moyes to Leicester. No, I think he's going. I do think that he's waiting in the wings for when Deitch is jettisoned. I really do believe that's going to happen. But we'll wait and see what happens there. Adrian, hope you're well. I'm not expecting too much, mate. Leicester will have the new manager bounce. Yeah, I mean it's typical, isn't it? It's all to do with timing. And Wolves have all of a sudden had an upsurge in performances and results. A couple of weeks ago we were probably looking at the Wolves fixture and sort of kind of rubbing our hands a little bit and thinking, well, we're crap, but Wolves are even worse. Well, I'm not too sure they are right now. I think if we was to play them tomorrow, I think we'd probably have a bit of a tough time on our hands. So, yeah, I mean, my thoughts on Newcastle this season, though, I mean, it's weird because they're obviously a team that have got the financial firepower to be better than what they are. And they obviously played Champions League football, what was it, last season, by getting into the top 4 the season before. Obviously, the way that this profit and sustainability rules, it does tend to hamstring any sort of new money that comes into Premier League football. And obviously Newcastle are comparatively new money to the Man Cities and the Man Uniteds and the Liverpools and the Arsenals and the Chelseas and the Tottenhams of this world. So, the rules very much favour those 6 teams. Who'd have ever thought it, huh? So, yeah, they're a probably sort of a team that, if you just look at their financial firepower, you'd probably say they should be doing more than they are. I mean, as you see, they're in ninth currently. But actually, I don't think they are ninth at the minute. I'm just going to have a quick check of that because I've. Oh yeah, they are ninth. Sorry, excuse me. Just checking the facts of the matter. But it's one of those. That, like I say, they've pulled up the drawbridge. Those sort of top six clubs and the new money clubs like Newcastle find it very difficult to sort of break through. As far as the opposition is concerned, though, I mean, they've got a couple of players that I think are going to do us some damage, and there's a couple of slides that are going to come up that are going to sort of highlight one of them. And the one that it's going to highlight when it comes up in due course is Harvey Barnes. I think he's a cracking little player. In fact, there it is. There you go. As if by magic, the shopkeeper arrived. There's Harvey Barnes. He's got 4 goals so far this season. He's their joint top goal scorer, along with the other guy that I'm going to talk about as well, Alexander Isak. And I think he's a fantastic striker. I think he's someone that, if we could have somehow got hold of him, I mean, he does tend to get a few injuries here and there, but he's a really good player. I'm not quite sure he's going to be at Newcastle for possibly beyond next season. Certainly not the season after if he carries on this trajectory. And Newcastle will continue to be hampered by the rules as they are. But they're probably the 2 players that we're going to have to keep an eye on more than anybody else, in all fairness. As far as the players that we're concerned, who's going to it's the usual suspects, isn't it? It's going to be the Jared Bowens. It's going to be but the thing is, we've still got a lot of, obviously, Fulkrug's out. Not really a shock that, but we've obviously got Mohamed Kudus and Edson Alvarez that are going to be sitting out tomorrow. So, Alvarez, I mean, probably Alvarez, there's a bit of a question mark. If he was available, would he have started? I don't know. Mohamed Kudus, definitely. And I'm not quite, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Paqueta, I don't think should be starting. Involve him in the squad, fine, have him as an option from the bench. But his performances this season have just done nothing really to suggest to me that he's anything worthy of a starting berth. I know some people would disagree with that, but that's just my opinion. Team news for Newcastle. I'm just having a little look on this little resource I'm looking here. So Dan Burn is suspended. So he will not be taking any part. It's very likely that Lloyd Kelly will be his replacement. Kieran Trippier and Callum Wilson, who likes scoring against us. We all know that he has a habit of popping up with goals and equalisers and winners and all the rest of it. He always seems to get injured, but then he'll come back just before we're on the horizon. It's uncanny, and he'll usually score or create a goal for one of his teammates. So I'm hoping he's out tomorrow, in all honesty. I've got nothing against Callum Wilson. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. But just as far as tomorrow's concerned, it'd be really good if he's nowhere near the squad at all. But confirmed as much as they can be, absentees will be Sven Botman, Jamal Lascelles and Emil Kraft. They will be absent from St James's Park tomorrow. My starting 11, again, I've got it on a little slide that's going to come up, and it's the starting 11 pretty much that I've advocated, and it won't see the light of day. It's the starting 11 I would sort of look to choose if I was in the dugout. But do I think that Lopetegui is going to select it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, a lot of it will probably be players that will play in the main, but there'll be a few that I look at and go, there's no way. And also the formation, I think that for me, if I was going tomorrow, 4-2-3-1 would be my go-to. But then again, the manager seems to like this 4-1-4-1 formation. So I suspect that that's what we'll very likely see tomorrow at St James's Park. But as far as I'm concerned, I would go in goal Fabianski. I mean, look, since he's come in, he's not really done too much wrong. He's been in the starting lineup on merit, and I think that he's done nothing really to warrant him being dropped back to the bench for Areola. Although Areola was missing the last couple of games, I don't know whether he's going to be available tomorrow or not. We'll wait and see. I've not got anything on my report that I'm looking at here that suggests that he's still injured. So I suspect he'll probably be back in the squad tomorrow. But that's what I would go with. Fabianski in goal, back four, left to right is probably no great shock. Palmieri, Kilman, Todibo, Wan-Bissaka pretty much takes care of itself. Now Rodriguez, look, he's slow, he's cumbersome. He gets in with quite a few tackles though. His tackle count is pretty high compared to his contemporaries. But in terms of his mobility, his matching up to Premier League pace, it's pretty poor. But I don't think we've got a choice, quite frankly. I think that he has to play, and probably alongside Thomas Soucek. Again, this is my 11. I don't suspect it will start with this. I would have Andy Irving in the 10 position just to see what he's all about, see what he can bring to the party. Somerville left, Bowen right, Danny Ings up top. Danny Ings, say what you want. When he's been involved from the bench, he scored the equaliser against Fulham. He had a couple of opportunities against Everton. You know, he comes on. He's done more for me than Michail Antonio has done, in all honesty. You know, he scored just as many goals or just as few, but I do think that he's been a little bit more of an attacking threat in the final third. But that would be my lineup. And as I say, I'd probably have Soucek and Irving sort of swapping positions, and you know, one goes forward, one drops back, and they take it in turns, just to sort of like, you know, mix it up a little bit. But let me just have a look at your comments and just see what any of you guys are coming up with whilst I've been waffling on. I'm just going to have a little scroll down. Colin's in. How you doing, mate? Hope you are well. 4-1. I think we will score, but that will be the only consolation we'll get from the game. Have I said Loppy should have gone a few games back? I think you might have done, mate. I think you might have done. Mark says, bearing in mind we were very lucky to win 2 of our Premier League games, our league position a false one, or is our league position a false one? I think it probably is, mate, to be honest with you. And good evening to you. Words and Pictures is in. We could do with Mr. Ben coming out of that dressing room with a West Ham kit on to play for striker for us. Mate, I think we could probably do with Mr. Ben, Nigel Ben, Big Ben, any of them, and they'd probably do a better job. So, yeah. I mean, Paqueta's just not done enough for me, Walshy. You know, he has these little moments, you know, he'll play a half decent pass, but you know, that should be the least we expect out of him, quite frankly. 4-2-3-1, low block counter-attacking football. Who'd have thought it, eh? Who'd have thought it? That might be what we need to do tomorrow. But I think you're right, mate. But I don't think it will happen. He'll do his usual shenanigans. He is banned. Alvarez is banned from what I'm looking at here, mate. Edson Alvarez is out of the game. At least that's what this presentation I'm looking at here on Who Scored says. So unless that's got it wrong, which is entirely possible, I suppose, and if it is, then I'm going to blame them. Words and Pictures, to have any chance of winning, we need a 5-5-5 formation. We'd find a way to cock it up. Ken, hope you are well. We're not even that good, mate. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Was any of you guys watching the Southampton game? I know they lost, but I tell you what, they looked a far better team than we look. You know, they're not doing well. They're actually doing worse than us. You know, right at this particular moment in time, they are rock bottom of the Premier League. But I tell you what, they look a better team than us. I will say it now. They look, I know what they are. That's the thing. They have an identity. I look at them and I know exactly what they're trying to do. I know they might not have the quality to sort of execute the plan, but I know what they're trying to do. And I think anybody that watches Southampton looks at Southampton and knows what they're trying to do. They know they have an identity. We don't. And that's the concern. That is the concern for me. Let me just have a little look at some more comments. Rodriguez gets tackles, nothing progressive in his position. No, you're right. I mean, he puts in a couple of challenges, but he's just too slow. He is too slow. And thank you for giving my 11 your seal of approval. 3-0 loss incoming. Get your score predictions in, guys. Kent's got his in. 3-0 loss. I wouldn't be shocked, mate. I wouldn't be shocked. I think we're gonna get done. I really do. And that's assuming the game goes ahead tomorrow. I might be doing this preview and the game doesn't bloody happen. So 5-0-5. Yeah, Donut FC. Callum Wilson reminds me of Cliff Richard. He's got a face you want to slap. Evening, Sharky. Hope you are well. I have a feeling either a crap house equaliser that gets Loppy a lifeline unreservedly or a 4-0 a Castle smoking of us. Listen, that's the one thing that worries me, though. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys remember 2010-11 season. We was got to pull the trigger on Avram Grant. It was coming up to Christmas. Martin O'Neill apparently had a conversation with the hierarchy, and then somehow that news had leaked its way into the public domain. And at the same time, Avram Grant started to pick up a couple of wins, if I remember correctly. I think it was Boxing Day or something like that, and we went to Fulham and won, if I remember correctly. And it was then that they decided they were going to stick with Avram Grant, and we all know how that one turned out. He isn't banned for tomorrow. Okay, well that's good news, because I'm using Who Scored as a resource, and they're saying that he's out tomorrow. So, I mean, look, is he really going to make that much of a difference? I'm not quite sure. Not banned was one red prem, one red in the cup. Okay, no, that's fine. As I say, I'm just going by the resource that I'm going by, which is, just to show you, this, which says there, Edson Alvarez is out. So, yeah, whatever. So, if that's wrong, then it is what it is. I've picked a crap resource to go from. Not sure Lopetegui would start Alvarez. Even in the pre-match presser, he forgot he is now available. Okay, I'll be honest with you, mate. I've given up watching his pre- and post-match pressers because I just can't understand him. I can't understand what he's coming out with. The words that are coming out of his mouth, they're kind of English, but they're Spanglish. I don't know what he's talking about. Ipswich 1-1 at the moment. Yeah, see, again, a team that's below us that's picking up a point. And even though Southampton didn't pick up a point, I think they were mighty unlucky that they didn't get something out of it. But I think that tomorrow, if any of you guys that are watching this are going there, drive safe, or, however you're getting there. Hope to God you're not walking from the East End. That's a bloody long walk. But listen, hope you have a safe trip there, safe trip back. Hopefully I'm wrong and everybody else is wrong, and that the lads put in a performance, and that they put in at least a performance, even if they don't get a result, that gives us a little bit of hope going into the Arsenal game. I'm not expecting it, though. I'm probably thinking it'll be like a 2-3-0 defeat, something like that. And I hope to God I'm wrong. I really, really do hope to God I'm wrong. But there you go. I'm going to disappear, guys. Thanks for joining me. It was a little bit of a little bit of fun that we want to have with you guys, and a little bit of a conversation. So yeah, I'm just going to get rid of that, and just ask you guys always, as I do, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff that you normally do to help the channel out. That really would help us out tremendously. Don't forget to give your supports to the Iron Supporting Food Banks charity as well. They could do with your help. And we'll see you for the review, where probably we'll all be jumping off of Tower Bridge if it goes the way that we expect. Anyway, come on, you Irons, and we'll see you next time.
Iron Supporting Food Banks collects food and cash donations for needy families in Newham Borough and beyond. Please consider making a donation via their Just Giving page, the link for which you will find in the description section of this stream. Come on, you Irons.